mechanistic structures. So what does this mean? Well, really, it comes down to the type of organisation a business is, how it operates, what's the nature of the hierarchy, what's the organisational culture. Is it a fairly chilled out place where the hierarchy, the rules, the methods of communication are pretty informal? Or is it a much more formal, hierarchical, perhaps bureaucratic organisation and culture, and a structure that places great emphasis on hierarchy, the roles and responsibilities? And that's really the distinction we're making here between organic and mechanistic. So, by all means, pause the video and jot down some of these examples if you wish.
Do you want to take a little note quickly on, you want to take a picture of your screen probably if you wish, but I've already sent this. Some of you might have gotten it. So I've already sent it. I can resend it as a backup towards the WhatsApp system, and you can get it, right? So I'll continue.
Essentially, organic structures is all about informality. It's that chilled out, flexible, informal way of organising a business, the way people talk to each other, the way they organise and take decisions, with an emphasis on empowerment, decentralisation. Often it's argued that organic structures are much easier, find it easier to handle change, to embrace change, to make it happen. Conversely, mechanistic structures, much more associated with tall hierarchies, with a clear chain of command, decision-making being centralised with a great deal of emphasis on supervision, and a much more formal approach to communicating with staff, perhaps based around standardised policies, standardised procedures. And it's often argued that mechanistic structures find it harder to effect change when needed. There we go then, hopefully that's useful. That's just an overview of this distinction between organic and mechanistic organisational structure.
Okay, are you still with me, guys? Lost you, or we're together? Sometimes rocking the boat means throwing some people out. Okay, Mr. Curtis. You're correct. Sometimes rocking the boat will mean that we have to let some passengers out. Or as I would have said to many of the systems and the staff of which I commanded, we have to know how to exercise soft landings. The approach that I would have taken in the years, although it might have been very mechanistic structures, was really, and I'm saying this to everyone here tonight, there are times, based on Curtis's point, where you really have, definitely hear what Jan is saying, nothing a manpower audit cannot fix. Okay, a manpower audit, I hear you. And that is true. It's a tool that you can definitely use to bring certain things out, to deal with certain releases of people. But as a professional directing general managers that you are now, leading organizations, leading your own companies or whatever, you have to get rid of people. Yes or no? Yes or no? You have to get rid of people. There are times when you just have to get rid of people. I'll show you what happens. What you have to have as part of your contingency is being able to execute exit strategies. How do I execute an exit strategy so that that person leaves the organization by being privileged to have worked for the organization and contributed? That kind of dialogue. Am I saying there aren't people who mess up totally, be it stealing, be it dishonesty, be it compromising the security or whatever, correct me, exactly, appraisal reports, that type of stuff, and you have to get rid of them, and you have to terminate them, yes. But your leadership, transformational as it would be, your leadership, decision, collaboration, and the way you're running the thing, the way you're rocking the boat and people are actually out of the boat and then realize that they are, will spell differently to those who kick you in the butt or who shake your hand on the last day and thank you for your service, and you have presented an exit strategy, guilty, dishonest, however they might have been. Because you want them leaving the organization thinking, what a stupid person I was to have messed up by doing so and so and so and so. And not someone who will jeopardize, and you see something politically all the time, who would jeopardize the authenticity and the image and the brand of the organization because of their feelings, their emotions, and how they feel the vengeance that they want to fight against you. And now with a beast like social media, all of these issues contribute to it. So a good discussion, but I want to hear your views. You looked at the video. What are your thoughts? Mechanistic and organic. This is what I want you to focus on. Mechanistic and organic. Mechanistic and organic. So, what comes to your mind when you have seen and you had this short intro? You're going to get some notes on it so you understand what is org structure. What are your thoughts? Mechanistic and organic. Based on what the presenter said.
I would think that organizations that adopt the organic structure are ones that are trying to promote creativity and innovation.
Yeah. Do you think that it is wrong for a mechanistic structure to start reviewing how they are constructed to institute some little organic dynamics in how they present their chain of command? Do you think it's wrong? Yes, you mean? Right. Shannon is saying that's the flexibility that's needed. And you all are very correct. Because what happens is that mechanistic structures are not wrong, they are not bad, but they are not very people oriented. And back to your OBODOE concept. Organizations today are engaging in wider research of organizational behavior, which is really the science of the people in the organization, to see what can be done to engage the organization for it to achieve organizational development. And once you have achieved the organizational development, is the sort of business continuity or maintenance plan to get to the cutting edge or competitor's advantage so that you would have achieved organizational efficiency or high-level organizational performance. So what we are discussing here, guys, is the practical aspect of, wait a minute, sometimes that research may involve the organizational structure. To advise the CEO, you close the door and say, sir, you're too mechanistic. Your structure have too much bureaucracy. People are working in silos. They don't feel that there's a communication. There's too much rigidity in your chain of command. You see it a lot in the military. Now the military is shifting a little bit to be more organic than mechanistic. I'm not saying, let me hear what Krishna is saying. Mechanistic, organic, individual specialization. Employees work separated and specialized. Let me just get the full thing.
It didn't come out right. It was supposed to be a comparison side by side on a chart.
Understood. No, it is. And it is a comparison. And what you're doing is a comparative analysis. And we're all encouraged to do that. You know, but we have to advise on what could work and what can't work. And sometimes CEOs and heads and directors and leaders in organizations, I recently did, let me just put the lights on a little bit so that we can be ready when we get to look at. I recently did an RTVE? I'm sharing this with you because you as change agents will have to understand what is an RTVE. Anybody know what's an RTVE? Who wants to try? Kurt, what's an RTVE? You don't know that? All organizations I have recommended when I speak to them and from a consultancy basis must conduct a risk, threat, and vulnerability assessment. I spoke to both sides of the spectrum when they had control of the national administration of the country. Isn't that a nice diplomatic way of saying, speaking politics? Of the importance of conducting RTVAs over a period. A company should conduct an RTVA at least biannually. A risk, threat, and vulnerability assessment. And in one of my engagements with the CEOs, there were two CEOs running this thing, was that you had to now consider the vulnerabilities of your organization. And one of those vulnerabilities, guys, people think sometimes it's your camera system or your walls or your structure against the breaches or the intrusions of people who may have criminal intentions. And it is not that. It is also the vulnerabilities of your organizations. And you know, people talk about SWOT and SWOT analysis and all of that. But where you see that there's a great potential for the organization to be breached or to be compromised or for issues to take place. And the main, you're correct, Nira. The main area in one of those is the people in the organization. How do you strengthen that concept of that resource? And the org structure system gives you that, because if people are rigid and in their own little silos, as Krishna said, and working separately, unable to go to get to certain levels in the chain of command, unable to be collaborated or to be communicated with, then the organization stands a greater threat to institute corrections. And you heard it from the speaker a while ago, where it's difficult to do transformation and difficult to do change. But when you have the more flexible sort of structure, a mixture of both, it becomes easier for you to institute recommendations of change. And that's the gist of it. That's the basis of the argument this afternoon. Not argument that is vexed with each other, but argument in the comparative, as Krishna said, or the different sort of viewpoints that we are sharing. So you open up. Let me hear you now. You're on the floor. What are your thoughts? Okay, so Jan is saying, can the decision of the type of structure used be based on the undertaking? Let me get your full question here. Jan is asking, can the decision of the type of structure used be based on the underlying culture of an organization? What are your thoughts, guys? Thank you for that very detailed account there, Krishna. It's good information inside of there. Let's answer Yana's question. Can the decision of the type of structure used be based on the underlying culture of the organization? What are your thoughts, guys? Does the culture have an influence on the type of structure that is being used? What are your thoughts? Definitely. Krishna is saying definitely. Who wants to add or take away from that?
I'm thinking, so Shalene here.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm thinking that your structure influences your culture.
Right. Well, it goes hand in hand. If you are building, not changing. Okay. So Kelvin is saying if you are building and not changing, in that if you are adapting or reconstructing some of the aspects of change, they have adaptation, they have evolution, they have revolution, and they have reconstruction. That's our change management thing. When we get to OT, we'll talk about that. It goes hand in hand. So the question I is asked, culture should be affected by leadership. But what we are really saying, based on the 800 that we have to do, we are seeing where leadership impacts on the culture and it impacts on the performance. Culture of an organization will help shape an organizational structure. And one side. Next side, an organizational structure can dictate the culture of the organization. So if it is strongly mechanistic, the culture and the work aptitude and behavior of the people is almost, and guys, I say this with the greatest of respect, even if right now you're sitting in the middle of a mechanistic structure, it's almost robotic in that you come in, you perform your task, you know what you have to do, you interface when you have to, you send it to the next higher person and you wait for further escalation of the document or the report or whatever. You don't have the, so can I see you at 10 o'clock? I want to discuss this thing that I'm working on. You cannot go beyond the head of your department. You can't even go beyond your supervisor in the mechanistic system. And your culture is like that. So that's where the structure is dictating the culture, based on Ayana's question. If the culture of the people is to be in such a way where we are saying that we need to have more say, we need to have a little more conversations, let us have issues, and you're raising it at the discussion level, and the leadership, guys, the leadership wants to ensure that the people are motivated and realize that we have to shift around the culture, will in fact flex on the structure to accommodate the motivated staff that wants to operate in this new realm. Case in point, what we are facing today, COVID-19 came on the ground as a crisis. We continue to talk about it. Has COVID-19 and the parameters, the dynamics, the extensions of this global crisis affected cultures and organizations? What are your thoughts? Has it?
Safety, in a safety way, it affects the safety.
Yeah, safety, health, operational precautions, but distribution, output, finances, the whole first, when you look at it, has been affected.
Yeah.
Do you think, since the culture of the organization, based on what we faced, has now been affected, that structures now have to be readdressed in order to expand, to come in, to be a little more flexible, in order to deal with the change, the incremental change in the environment that has now affected the culture of the people? We're looking at you hear any term all about? Krishna, let me have a question before I raise on what we're hearing. Unfortunately, culture may be the factor with the least influence on the definition of the org structure behind others, like cost, industry norms, and environmental factors. And Krishna, you're correct, because they are still holding on to the transactional viewpoint and not the transformational viewpoint. But we will get to that in a little bit. You hear a lot of people talking about the new norm, terms some people say they like and don't like to use. And the new norm is dictating that structures will have to become a little more flat. People never thought in Trinidad and Tobago that they could have achieved productivity by having their employees work from home. They never thought so. Old school rigidity and mechanistic thinking was that you have to come out to work. That's what it is. You had to come to work. I want to see you in the office. See you.
I want to see you working.
Yeah, I want to see you working. Not realizing that the output, many people, 95% of those that I would have interviewed and spoken to based on some research that I'm doing on the side, have said, Commander, I got more work done from being at home in a comfortable environment. Great, Krishna. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Because of no interruptions, I can focus. I'm working in my own time, in my own space, and I have set goals and objectives. At the end of the day, I would have done this, would have done that, whatever. And yeah, Google definitely Curtis, excellent. Google have shown that. Amazon right now has a large percentage of their stuff, other than their warehouse and their distribution operations, have gone that way also. Military. How does all of this tie into org structure? Many organizations today, because of the things coming to a stop, have now regrouped and changing their structure to reflect the new culture in order for development and efficiency. It is more challenging, Nigel. So it's not only challenging for the workers who are coming out, it is challenging for the staff and the leadership to manage the new issue. So there's been a dynamic that has changed, that has thrown everybody into a new perspective. We are 1 hour into discussion. The place is nice and hot and we're going good. Hot, not literally, but by temperature and the adrenaline. Let me tell you something. How many cricket fans we have in the group? How many cricket fans?
We have more ex-cricket fans than cricket fans.
I didn't say West Indies fans, Mrs. Ramsden. I know. So we have cricket fans out there. Hands raised. Wendell. Jessica, you want to ask something before we go forward?
No, I just like cricket.
Oh, excellent. Okay. You like going to cricket or you like the game of cricket? Let me hear.
Of course, going to the games. I don't know what's in the field. I don't know
Right. So what am I leading to? What is the whole thing about the cricket talk? You all remember when 2020 came on the ground and took the cricketing world by a storm?
Yes.
Whether it started with Sanford in Antigua or out of Australia or England or India, the mecca of the cricket game of 2020, T20, correct? Did I say 2020? What is 20? T20, sorry, Wendell. I was just testing to see if you all were listening to me. Yes, so when T20 came, it took the thing by a storm. People say that could never happen. That's not cricket. That ain't playing in England. We're not like that. We must clap our hands along with suit and tie and Lords and the Essex grounds. And look what has happened to the game of cricket. Yes, we still have our limited overs. We still have our test matches. Great game of cricket to watch a test match. We still have the regional and all of that. But 2020 came on the ground and revolutionized the game. Nobody thought we would have gone that way. It has now opened up careers for coaches, for ex-players, for people who are in the sunset of their career to go in and now and still continue the game and to please the crowds like myself and Wendell and all of those, Jessica and everybody, because we are cricket lovers. It is the same thing that is and is happening in the corporate sense of business acumen today. Because, not because of COVID, not because of online or technology, but people-centered organizations. People are now moving from being project-centered to people-centered. To understand, wait a minute, the successibility, the respiratory system of my organization is not so much on what I have achieved by projects and expansions, but what I have achieved by the development of my people. And that is where we express the understanding of organizational structure that represents how people are positioned in the organization. Be it those phone calls where we adjust to fix the thing, and it has nothing to do with the structure, or be it those who might be in the structure, not in the leadership position, but maintaining a certain amount of control based on roles and responsibility. But it impacts on the culture of the organization. And flipped onto that, the culture impacts on the structure of the organization. They are all fed, connected, integrated with the leadership, the motivation of the people. What does all of that combined do? It pushes towards the development of the organization. Once that has been achieved, guys, what is the next step? The organization moves or morphs into organizational efficiency. That is the gist of it. Don't forget that. Don't forget the rhythm and how it unfolds. Let me see what's happening in the chat.
Yeah.
Any questions, guys?
Yes. So, I have a question.
Go ahead. Who's speaking?
Patricia.
Yippee.
The size of an organization, right? Like, I think in public service, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're saying here about culture helps shape organizational structure and vice versa, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is that the reason why I feel size has something to do with it? Because I think that's why our public service can move either or, because the amount of people it affects is not as easy as how you put it across here in terms of a business.
Wait, no, you're 110% correct, Patricia. But you hit the nail on the head. It is not so much the size, but it is the people. Let's just take a case in point here. And then we'll take the short break, right? Patricia has raised a tremendous point, and it's really down the public service road, right? There's something in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. I didn't ask if we have police services in the group, but it's nothing to say that we're going adjacent to what they are, or to Mr. Griffith and his command and his admin and whatever. Called the Police Training Academy. You all ever heard that term? The Police Training Academy.
Yeah.
Right. This is where the civilian is taken off the streets, he's lined up in the hot sun, bringing all his brown envelope. Why we like brown envelopes so in this country, boy? So everybody has a brown envelope with a certificate, they go and they do the people exam, they get called, they get some preliminary stuff down in the barracks. Yes, Nathan. I know you have one or two police inside there, they ain't gonna see nothing, but I'll find all out there stuff. Anyway, so the youngster then joins the police service, becomes a recruit, and he undergoes 9 months of training, 3 months of which has to also be on-the-job training and familiarization and all that. The culture taught in the public sectors around the world is to go easy and slow till retirement. Krishna, you're on your own with that. But you're true, regardless of the country, yes. So guys, when he goes into the barracks, into the training academy, he undergoes a series of training. Understands the law and then the do's and the don'ts and all that stuff, and brisk and to drill and has this dream of being this police officer to protect and serve and to come out there into the civil streets and maintain law and order. Correct? Based on the institutionalized training that took him from a civilian through the system, answering Patricia's question, through the system, and now he's ready for graduation day. And everybody come, and uncle and nene, and they come down the road to the maxi and then to see the boy or the girl pass out. Sound familiar? He does quite well. And he graduates, or she graduates with distinctions in certain subjects and stuff. Good young police officer. Right, sharp. And he is ready for civil streets. He's ready to take on the challenge. And he is transferred to Valencia Station, where when he arrives, he meets Corporal Ali. And his first conversation with Corporal Ali, no, I'm not saying this happens across the system and saying it happens a lot. I have to choose my words wisely. His first conversation with Corporal Ali is, go and buy a chicken roti and an apple j for me by Nina, down in Bikini Junction. Corporal, youngster, go and buy a chicken roti and an apple j and bring it back for me. So what does he do? He goes and he buys a chicken roti and an apple j and he brings it back to the corporal. Corporal says, sit down there. You see all that what you learn in the barracks? This is my station. You will do as I say. Watch and learn what is real police work. That's what I have just painted for you all, Pat, team, is the reality of what takes place in the system. And sometimes, most of the time, everything that youngster learned is now challenged based on what he is seeing in the practical aspect of how the thing unfolds. That is what happens in Patricia's scenario, in that there is a certain determination and a drive and a passion to do this thing correctly, but a culture ingrained over the years, and a word I don't like to use, called stigma, branded our public servants as inefficient, branded our public servants, the agents of the state, who without them, PSs can't make decisions, ministers can't get reports, documents can't move around the system. Decisions can't be made. But the stigma is, all you is slackers. Once it's public servant, blah, 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 and it started, hold on. You don't hear the good, you always hear the bad. WD, don't help it. WD-40, Kurt, your boy. WD-40, the thing is a spray. That ain't helping it back. But a very few raises the bar. I was a senior public servant after I left the military, and I saw some people, like I worked in the ministry, former PS, what was the name? Buko Blake, Mr. James, the deceased, he was a PS, he died recently, I can't remember his name, Miss Lynch, Sandra Lynch, some of the people inside of there. Real top of the line public servants, but we're dealing also with a culture and a stigma and an IR kind of challenge. And yes, wideness of the organization, populace of the organization is very popular, hard to deal with. And what has been advised in a lot of the change processes is focus on departments, focus on divisions, focus on certain administrators, try to get things running in a different direction. So you know what has happened? I'll get back to your point in a bit, Chris. The clash, Patricia, between contracted workers and public servants. And there's now an issue in the division and in the department regarding efficiency and how contracted workers operate and how public servants operate. And there are many public servants, guys. We're not BS anything here tonight. There are many public servants who are very guilty of what I just discussed with the stigma. But there are a large percentage who are not the corporal allies of the state, but are efficient, bar-raising, no holds barred, passionate, come out, work late at night to get the thing done. But we are challenged as in a culture of some word called public servantism. And it's difficult sometimes to swim upstream against such a current. I hope I answered your question, because I went a little bit long, but I wanted to build the history of the response. Are you okay?
Yep.
Okay. You were instructed to, so Krish, I know you mentioned, okay, you mentioned me privately, we'll keep it like that, and I will speak to you on it. I respect your view on this. You're actually responding on a number of what a lot of people would have faced. Guys, this is a real discussion. We have the academics and the literature to support the organizational structure, of which I will send to you. But it is important to understand what we just touched on. Yeah, Otis?
No, sorry, I clicked it by mistake. Sorry.
Otis, put your hand in your pocket. Okay, not a problem. Let's take a short break. Let's just soak it in a little bit. When we come back, we're going back into the framework of the assignment. And then we will touch a little bit on power, politics, and conflict, which kind of continues the conversation a little bit. Patricia, thank you very much for your question. Very, very real. Guys, good discussion for the first hour. Take a short break, exhale a little bit. We come back in and we go straight back to the assignment, all right? Thank you very much. Somebody's mic is still on, guys. Make sure you mute your mics if you're on your break.